Welcome back on the program. We're now talking International Women's Day. As the world celebrates International Women's Day, it is essential to shed light on the often overlooked plight of female inmates in Nigeria's prison. These women, many of whom are mothers, daughters, and sisters, face unique challenges and hardship within the prison system. Some of the challenges are limited access to health care, inadequate living conditions, stigma, and even delayed justice, with today being accelerating action with regards to women's rights and gender equity. There's a question of how the rehabilitation program has effectively helped inmates build positive lives away from crime and other welfare is truly prioritized. And we get more insights to this matter as we have joined us in the studio this morning, the Executive Director, Hertford Foundation for Justice, Oluyemi Orija. She joins us on the program this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure having you on the program this morning.
Thank you very much.
And happy International Women's Day.
Thank you very much.
So tell us the plights of women at this time. Talking about these inmates, what are their plights?
Yeah. As rightly mentioned, there are a lot of them. One of it is the fact that we do not even have enough facilities for women in prison. For example, you know, the Section 34 of the Nigeria Correctional Service Act specifically stated that all states in Nigeria shall have a specific facility for women or female inmates. But unfortunately, we have just 2 states in Nigeria that has a specific facility for women. So that is one thing. So you now have other states have their prisons, then you have other wings within the prison for women, not specific facility for them. And the only ones that have this facility are in Lagos and Adamawa State. So inside those prisons, you see that we do not have enough health care facilities for women. Some women are pregnant, some of them, I mean, some of these female inmates, some of them are pregnant, some of them even have children, all right? So there should be targeted healthcare facility and services provided for these women. But unfortunately, we do not have this. Again, we have congestion in some of the prisons. We have the fact that a lot of them, about 70–75% of them are also awaiting trial. They do not have easy access to you know, justice. So it's a whole lot of challenge. And I like the fact that today, usually female inmates are forgotten on a special day like this. And the fact that we are shedding light on some of the challenges that they face is something that is very commendable, and I say thank you to you.
Right. Talk to us about some of the peculiar needs that female inmates, you know, suffer from, or what they need now, those peculiar needs that make them stand out as we push for better rehabilitation and successful integration into the society for these inmates.
Yeah, I think the first thing I'll talk about is their health, right? Also, the provision of the law is very clear that specific and, you know, gender-tailored healthcare services should be provided for women within the correctional facility. And we have, it's not only physical health, even mental health, right? And in Nigeria today, unfortunately, the reality is about 3,000 inmates to 1 psychologist, which is not, which is a very poor ratio that we have. So I would say we should prioritize their health, one. We should also prioritize their menstrual hygiene. Now, this is something that is peculiar to women, and female inmates are not exempted. So the fact that these women are there, we need them to, we need provision for them on menstrual hygiene. So this is something I would say that should be prioritized by the government and by every stakeholders that work within the Nigerian justice system.
Right.
Aside from health care development, what other challenges do these women face in these inmates in the prisons?
Yeah, so you talk about congestion as well. Congestion is a major situation. For example, in Lagos State, the Kirikiri female prison is built for about 200 capacity, but usually you see that inmates overflow this number.
Do you have statistics?
Yeah, so we might not, I don't have exactly, but usually when we visit these prisons, you have over 200 at most times. And this is not really ideal, because when you have the issues of congestion, it also boils down to so many other things. Then rehabilitation is very key, in the sense that we need to prepare them for after prison. Do not forget that women, most of these women are mothers, they have their children, and they're separated from their children, from their family within this period of time. So there are specific mental situation that is even attributed to the fact that they are separated from their family. And you know how connected that women can be with their families. So when we have issues of congestion, it boils down to a lot of things. So I'll say it's a major challenge that should also be addressed by simply complying with the provision of the law and providing more facilities for female inmates. And the issue of their children is also very, very, very important. The provision of the law is also very clear that there should be crèche in every facility. But unfortunately, that is not the current reality of our country. So these are the many other challenges. So I would also talk about their rehabilitation, like I mentioned. When people go to prison and they are leaving, how do we prepare them for after prison? They are going back to the society. To what exactly, you know? So we should have skill acquisition programs within the prisons that prepare women. We should have education programs as well. Some are in place. We will not shy away from that fact that in Kirikiri, for example, we have a lot of skill acquisition programs being done by NGOs and CSOs, you know, within the prison, which also help in preparing these women for after prison time.
Right, but if one would take it on a national, yes, the laws are there, the laws that govern these correctional facilities across the country are there, but from what you have seen now from an informed perspective, only 2 states at least have separate female facilities, so to speak. What can be done now in terms of maybe low-hanging fruits beyond the Kirikiris of this world, now at least to ensure that these people are successfully rehabilitated and reintegrated? What can be done moving forward?
Yeah, I would suggest a holistic collaboration within stakeholders, right? I think enough of working in silos. Like, I have an organization that works specifically on providing access to justice to inmates and also female inmates inclusive. But you know, when we work in silos as an organization, we have little impact. So I would suggest that churches, NGOs, the government themselves, and other stakeholders within the prison system come together and really look at how we can give better impact in terms of rehabilitation and in terms of better services to the women, you know, when they are in there. And during that period, a lot of things is really going on, and we can meet them at different stages while they are in prison. So I would suggest that we really have to work together in order to give a lasting impact to the women and ensure that when they are back from the prison and joining the society, they are really back for good.
But what's even the worst case scenario now? Because yes, we're talking about avoiding recidivism. Absolutely, where the spate of offenders offending again, so to speak. What's the worst case scenario now? If nothing is done, what can happen?
I mean, it means we are sitting on a time bomb if nothing is happening, especially in the area of rehabilitation. For example, when women go to prison, the first question we want to ask is, why do women go to prison most of the time? And you see that usually the statistics have shown that it is either through they are victims of domestic violence, gender-based situation, or structured poverty. So when they then go to prison and there is no rehabilitation of any form, then they come back to the prison, out of the prison rather, it means we are not all safe because they are going back to crime. They have nothing to fall back onto. So we are all they are victims, like we are already temporary victim waiting for them to come out and be a harm to the society. So the society is not safe when the government and the stakeholders are not prioritizing the rehabilitation of inmates in prison. And you would also notice that during the budget that is currently between of 2025, there is really nothing that is accruing to the rehabilitation of the inmates. It boils down even to their feeding. How much is the government marking to their feeding while in prison? So we have prisoners who died while there because of terrible health care.
Aside from them in these correctional centers, what is organization like you and other NGOs doing to sensitize women not to commit crime, or talking about the structured poverty that you made mention of?
Yeah, so it's very important that without just working, or rather than just working to ensure that people in prison are better off, it's also important that we prevent people from going to prison. And in doing that, you see NGOs now very particular about the economic situation of women. So you see a lot of empowerment programs going on. For example, at Edford Foundation today, being International Women's Day, we are in a rural community in the Korodu, where we are educating women and also providing them with empowerment programs on skill acquisition, where even for the women with disability, you know. So these are the kind of programs that NGOs are doing every day. Some is on education, some is on business acumen, others is on skill acquisition, and different things to ensure that women are economically independent. And when we have situations like this, we see less women going into crime and at the end of the day finding themselves behind bars.
Where lies the area of patience where you can manage? You need to talk to, you know, it's International Women's Day. You know, some men will complain that, oh, my wife cannot just manage or bear things with me, just want me to go out to just get the money. At what point can you advise women to be able to be patient with their husband, to be able to ensure management? I don't know how to just put this, you know, talk to that particular woman watching you at the moment on how to ensure things are being done moderately.
Yeah. Okay, so I think that the country and the situation of the country is not peculiar to just women. Every one of us can see how the economy of the country is going, and of course global economy at the end of the day. So there is no justification for crime, right?
Absolutely.
Whether or not there is money is no justification for crime. And this is not also a way of exonerating the government from taking responsibility. So I would say that for every woman, if you find yourself behind bars, or if you commit crime because of anything at all, it's your fault at the end of the day, and you will be the one to bear the brunt. So you don't want to find yourself behind bars. Behind bars is not where anyone wants to be, as a matter of fact. Nigerian Correctional Service is peculiar. You don't want to spend 24 hours there. We've seen people go there sane, and within a couple of weeks, they're different persons entirely, mentally speaking, right? And this is because of the reality of the situation right there. So you don't want to find yourself behind bars. And my advice is, please, as much as you can, stay away from crime.
Absolutely. In all of this, well, it's an ongoing conversation. We've run out of time. We will continue to engage with you and get perspectives from your end as you continue with this fabulous work that you're doing. Oluyemi Orija, thanks a lot for speaking with us on TVC Breakfast Saturday.
Thank you so much.